Well, welcome back to the channel. We got a new member of the shop here. This is a 1949 Packard Series 23. This is a Deluxe 8. Picked this one up from a gentleman not too far from here. Had a bit of a rough history. You can see the car is not in the best condition. This is definitely going to be a project, but it should be a fun one to work on. The story is that the gentleman that used to own the car back in the 70s got in a bit of an accident. You can see the damage up here in the front, along the side, and kind of back to there. After that, he parked the car and sat inside for decades, and was picked up by another guy who started some work on it and then left it out in the field for a while, and then went to another owner who did a few more things, and now it's in my hands. So at this point, it's a bit of a rescue project. We're going to try to get this thing back on the road, clean it up a little bit. Probably not going to be a full restoration. A Deluxe 8 sedan isn't a super desirable or rare model. A lot of these things were made, but still a fun car, and should be a good project to work on. So the Deluxe 8 comes with a 288 5-main bearing straight 8, producing 135 horsepower. There were three different options for engines during this year. That was the 288, the 327, and the 359. The 359 being found only on the Custom, which was the highest end model. So this one obviously is a little bit rough. The guy before me had rebuilt the carb. It's not fully done yet, not hooked up. New plugs, new wires, new cap and rotor, new battery, and a few other things, but they never really got it started. The engine is free, so I don't think it's going to take a whole lot for us to get things moving here. But we'll see. It'll be a project for another video. You can see inside the engine bay, though, this is how things look for the Series 23, Series 22 as well. The hood can come off from both sides. There is a latch mechanism, which is here, that hooks on to either end of the hood. It's released from inside the cab, and you can tilt the hood from one side to the other. If you release both of them, you can lift the hood off fairly easily. Mine are frozen, so this is going to be some work to get these things undone, but you know, kind of standard sort of rust that I see inside here. Again, the engine's free, so there's going to be some good with that. Original color. I don't think that it's had any repaint in the past. The guy before me did do a clear coat over the top just to protect the paint a little bit after he cleared off some of the rust. That's why it looks a little bit shiny. But probably end up just kind of buffing this out and seeing if we can get things to look a little bit better. Going to the inside. When this thing sat indoors for years, it got pretty well thrashed by rodents. So you can see there's quite a bit of debris underneath the seats. Things are pretty dirty. Front seat is not great. A lot of the front seat ended up here in the headliner where the rodents lived. So smells great inside here right now. Just love that rodent smell. Amazing. So unfortunately, the headliner is going to have to come down, and at some point, if I want to restore this further, then I will have to get a new headliner, which is fine. Otherwise, it's going to come down. I'll clean things up, and we'll leave it off for now. Front seat is not great. Some of it's okay. A lot of this is very stiff and dry rotted, and underneath the driver's side is pretty well hammered over there. Door panels. This is the worst of the bunch. You can see that there was quite a bit of water damage here, unfortunately. The seals were leaking. Got a lot of rust up here on the upper edge of the door trim. Bottom's not too bad here. But this car, unfortunately, was left outside for a little while, and you can see the weather stripping's all shredded up there. And a lot of damage on this side. Floorboards, we'll have to look once I get the carpets out, but I'm not expecting they're going to be amazing. Probably going to have some rust through there. If it's not too bad, then I'm not super concerned about it, but otherwise I might have to weld in some panels. Dashboard is not bad. So the Deluxe had wood grating on the interior trim. It's not real wood, obviously, but it does dress things up a little bit. Chrome on the inside is actually in decent condition. It should clean up very well. We'll go over to the other side here in a second and show you the instrument cluster. Glove box, empty besides old mouse droppings. Going over to the back here. And the back is not so bad. Door panels can clean up. Again, not perfect. It got some staining, but it shouldn't be terrible. Wood graining, much better. This should clean up just fine. Back of the front seat, not bad. Obviously some staining down there, but we should be able to clean that up. The vinyl down here on the bottom is in decent condition. This should clean up as well. Back seat looks good. Everything's there, no rips, no tears. Cloth is a little old, a little stiff, but might be able to clean that up and save it. Package shelf in the back, all there as well, a little dirty. Headliner back here is decent in the back, but I mean the whole thing's going to have to come down, so I'll take that out. On the back of the front seat, got the ashtray, cigarette lighters missing. The robe rail is there, a little worse for wear, and the wood graining unfortunately is a little rough up there on the top. There is on both sides, down here at the rocker panels, some rust through. In the rear, I don't see it in the front, but definitely in the rear. So that, yeah, we'll see. I might clean that up, I might not. We've got everything for the wheels except for this trim ring we're missing right here that goes around the edge, but that shouldn't be too hard to find. Let's see, two owners before put on new tires. So these are unused. They're way too small. These are 215 70R15s. Original called for 7.6 by 15, which is closer to like a 29 inch diameter or more, and these are way smaller than that. So we'll change those out when the time comes. Going around to the back here. Here's the rear of the car. You can see the streaks from the wipe-on clear coat that he did. Backup light was an option. We're missing the light and lens here for the license plate. Got some dings and dents in the trunk surface and kind of right back here as well. Lights are there. Rear bumper is it's not bad. Not a lot of denting or anything there, a lot of scratches, and then of course where the exhaust is, the chrome is pretty well hammered there. Very caustic and corrosive exhaust fumes. Now the trunk has been cleaned up. There is no rust through inside here. Everything's there. Got some undercoating. I'm going to end up cleaning that off and getting the little surface rust out underneath that. Still have a trunk light, which is currently not working or hooked up. Again, you can see original paint, which is the same as the outside. The weather stripping is gone. That's all going to have to get replaced. But trunk closes well. Over here to the other side. It's the driver's side rear. Again, pretty good in the back. Nice door panel. Sorry, it's very windy outside right now. And this should all clean up without too much of a problem. Weather stripping's here, and it's not super hard, but I don't think that it fits very well anymore, unfortunately. So probably going to have to replace all that. But doors close well. Now the driver's side. I do have the door panel for this, as well as the trim. It's off the car right now. There's going to be some work that needs to be done to the door to get things working a little bit better. You can see the damage here to the front seat. This is pretty characteristic of cars that have sat for a while. The mice have taken all the cotton out of the inside and again just moved it up to where their nest was up inside. So looking at the dash here, dash is in pretty good condition. Nice chrome, no bubbling or anything like that. It should clean up beautifully. You can see the flight glow instruments there. A little bit of, is it radon, I think, that's in there, so it glows at nighttime. The steering wheel should clean up well also. The emblem right in the center, great condition. It's going to polish up great. The horn ring is a little dirty, but no major bubbling. That should clean up well also. Steering wheel itself isn't bad. We got some cracking. A couple of minor spots here. But overall, that is not in terrible condition. So we'll clean that up and probably use it as is for now. Eventually I might get that refinished. I've done that before. Now this is a manual car, 3 on the tree. That's where you shift right there. There is overdrive. You can see that knob underneath. Manual brakes as well, single master cylinder. So again, we'll see what the floorboards look like once I disassemble the interior and pull everything out. See what we're dealing with here. A little stiff on that door. This side of the car is in much better condition. No dents, no dings. Everything is pretty well straight here. It does have a vacuum operated antenna as well. Original mirror mounts are here. Mirrors are missing. So I'm going to see if I can find an option for that. See if I can retrofit something. Hood of the car looks great. No problems over here. Glass overall is good. We do have some delamination on all the vent windows. And then the rear passenger vent window is cracked. But windshield looks fine. Everything else is looking pretty good there as well. Hubcaps can be polished up, but they're not in terrible condition there either. There has been some front end damage to the car. It looks like at some point something hit the grill. So the whole grill is kind of pushed back and in slightly. You can see a little bit of folding right down in here. And there's a nice little fold on either side where the whole kind of front end has been pushed back ever so slightly. You can see it on this side here as well. Nice little fold. So I may or may not try to do anything with that. I would like to straighten things out a little bit, but that's going to present its own set of challenges. The front bumper is pushed upwards right now, and that's just from a previous owner pushing it around with the tractor. So I'm going to get that back in line, and that should help some, but I will try to clean that up best that I can. The emblem up here on the front is original. It's not a reproduction. That looks really nice, actually. A little bit of an issue there on the upper end by the wings. Looks like we've lost some of it, but overall still doing pretty well. Chrome up here isn't great. You know, the grill is pretty rough. Got a lot of pitting, missing a chunk there, and obviously everything's kind of bent. So we'll see what I can do about that. So I haven't tried to do anything with the car yet, besides just get it here. And what I'd like to do is, as I work on it and go through different systems, record different videos, just how-tos and different things like that, I'd also like to keep track of everything that I spend on this car, so I can see how much it actually costs to get a car from being dormant, sitting for decades, and getting it back on the road. As a reference, I picked this car up for about $1,300, which is, yeah, it's okay. I could probably have gotten something a little bit cheaper, but there were some things that were done on it already that make it so I'm not having to spend that money. For example, the battery, a couple $100 right there is already done. You know, carb kit, rebuild is all there, and some of the other little sundry things have been taken care of already. So, you know, you definitely could find something a little bit cheaper, but this one was close and it needed to be saved. So I'm gonna see what I can do about it. And as I work on it, I'll keep track of everything, and we'll see how much things end up costing just to get it back on the road. I'm not looking for a full restoration at this point, but if I can get it running and driving reliably and safely, then that would be my goal here for the moment. But overall, got some potential. It's got some a good starting place here. There is a lot that does need to be done. Obviously get it running first. We'll have to check the cooling system. The exhaust system is trashed, so we'll have to have a new one made there, which shouldn't be too big of a problem. The fuel system, fuel pump needs to be rebuilt for sure. The tank is here. It's not rotten. Everything is there. It's in good shape. Lots of undercoating. There is, unfortunately, a ton of varnish on the inside and some rust as well. So we're going to get that cleaned up as best we can. The pickup tube is also clogged, but that should not be too difficult to get that taken care of. But we'll get this cleaned up. I'd prefer to just use this rather than sending it out to be rebuilt or getting a replacement. A replacement tank is available, which is great, but it costs almost as much as the car. So we'll see what I can save. Yeah, this is another project that we're going to be working on here, and this is going to be a longer term thing. Hoping to involve my kids on it as well, and end up just having fun. And as a little matter of information, we do like to name all of our cars here, and the kids have come up with the name of Stubbs for this one, because the front end is nice and stubby after having been pushed in. So Stubbs, the 1949 Deluxe 8. Be looking for more videos on this. I will put them out as we get to them. Thanks.